I'm living His will. He's got me in His hands. I'm chilling, chilling, chilling with purpose. God has a purpose. God has a plan. I'm living His will. He's got me in His hands. I'm chilling, chilling, chilling with purpose.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Chilling with Purpose, the broadcast that rescues the heart and the mind. We should say, if you apply the tools, if you walk it out, it will rescue the heart and the mind. So listen, let's get to our announcements. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go. What? There's hybrid. I hear some. Oh, here's some noise. We're having a hybrid prophetic class that is being taught by none other than Prophet Sandra J, the one up here in the top corner with the beautiful green on. Y'all wants to come to the, I said wants with an S on the end. Y'all wants to come to this. So the classes in the month of March will be in person. March 8th, a meal will be served. There will be a meal provided in the March 8th class. That is at 10 o'clock. We do start on time. There is that information, and this flyer is circling around on Facebook. If you have any questions or you need any additional information, I actually need to update this flyer. We are also purchasing the book by John Eckhart, The Prophet's Manual. We are going to skip around in the book, but you'll still need the book because assignments will be given from that book. So there's the information on that. If you have any questions, please drop them in our Chilling with Purpose comment box. All right. The next announcement. 24 hours of God's presence. That will go from Friday, March 28th to Saturday, March 29th. I did 2 videos today, y'all, and none of them are showing up. So I'll try another one. But this is literally going to be 24 hours. If you need any additional information, please drop your questions in our Chilling with Purpose comments, and we will be glad to answer those questions for you. All right. So next up is hot topics. So y'all, listen. I believe in being so real and just myself. But one of our nutball staff members asked a question at the back door. What would you do if you were invisible? Let's go ahead and make that the hot topic. What? I love it. What would you do? What would you do if you were invisible? I'm going to go ahead and write that. So let's hear from the team first. Selena, what would you do?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Maggie, what would you do?
I would walk around to the stores and just move things around. Have the cake floating in the air and stuff.
That's funny. What would I do? Sandra, what would you do if you were invisible?
Oh man, that's a good question. I probably eliminate, not kill. It's just a difference. Eliminate all the evil people that is just running the world in the wrong way, and put the people that I know, just rewrite laws. That's what I would do. Rewrite laws, fire half of them that don't know what they're doing, and then put people in that I believe that will do the right thing. Yes.
So you're just gonna be an assassin?
Yeah.
Yes,
and then,
that's exactly what she's gonna do.
And then I will wear a bikini because I don't have a bikini body.
Oh, y'all, listen. You only drink your water. This is water with a splash of cranberry juice. That's
Oh my God.
ice.
Arrowhead water.
Yes.
Oh, that is funny. And wear a bikini because I don't have a bikini
I
body.
don't have a bikini body.
That is
All
hilarious.
you have to have is a body. You just put on a bikini anyway.
Oh God, no.
No,
No.
that's not what you do.
I don't care what the world says. No.
Don't ever be that free.
No. I'm not.
But let me just say, I'm not going to ever be that free.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty free. I'm not, you won't be calling me a sumo.
Exactly. No.
No, ma'am. Oh, that is hilarious. Well, that was a fun hot topic, or just like a question of the day. What would you do if you were invisible? And if you are coming in, we got some low ratings today. If you are coming in, come on, have fun. Come in and answer that question. What would you do if you were invisible? So I do have a hot topic that I was actually hesitant about, not out of fear, just hesitant in general, about these drones that were flying around, and like all of a sudden it was like a whole lot of drones, and the powers that be are telling us, oh, it's not from the enemy, oh, we're safe. But some of these drones were just falling. Some people even got injured from these drones. But today you decide to say it was the FAA all along, and it's FAA authorized. I don't believe you. Why are you just now telling us that? What are your thoughts about these drones?
Well, I always thought it was some enemy spying. First, I thought it was the enemy spying, or the government spying, or they're working on some kind of technology that we don't know about to basically be able to go, just in places that they shouldn't go. Because drones, just that amount of drones, especially seen in the century that we're living in, drones just don't fly and nobody's doing anything about it. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? Somebody would have said something. So again, that now I will correct my words. It cannot be the enemy, because if it was, they would have already destroyed it. So which means I believe is something within here that they're doing that we don't know about. So I think it's more inside, that to have, maybe it could be a surveillance, you know what I'm saying? Just surveying the land and seeing the different things, So yeah. Yep.
All right. Anybody else?
I feel like it is a weapon, but it's also used, to spy.
Mm-hmm.
And then just in general across the board, I do feel like they don't tell us the truth and they keep information from us. And then we don't discover it till 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you were getting ready to say something. So I agree with that. I don't trust our government leaders because they haven't given me a reason to trust them in general. So it especially if you make a decision and then when you come back, you act like you didn't make the first decision. At least say, you know what? That decision that I made, it wasn't the right decision, or that wasn't a good decision, or I made the decision in the moment. This is what we need to do. But to act like somebody just playing around, or we're safe when drones are very invasive. Come on. And then now you're going to say, oh, yeah, we're doing some research and it's FAA authorized. Why couldn't you say that in the beginning?
Yep.
And they went on to say the reason that they say is because the public kept pressing. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you just say it?
I agree. Yep, because they could have made it a news. They could have just said, hey, we just want you all to know that if you see some things buzzing around, which is drones, please don't be paranoid, or it's just something we're testing. I mean, yeah, that's all you had to say. But, yeah, it's easy. But integrity, when we don't have integrity, those are the things that I believe when you don't have integrity, because there's certain things I do believe that we can share with the public without basically giving out information that we shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? But if you say you care about us, then you shouldn't make us feel spooky or feel like we are in danger. It is your job. If you say you want to secure us, to say, hey, I just want you all to know you might see some drones, don't be alarmed, that. And then guess what? We wouldn't have to be so suspicious or scared or feel like, we're being spied on, even though we know we are. It will give some kind of comfort to us.
I agree.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just yeah.
Well, that's the hot topic I wanted to bring up today. The good old drones.
The drones.
Yeah. I feel like I would, if I had a drone trying to play with it, I would have already smashed it into the building.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, different navigation, trying to navigate a drone versus a vehicle on the ground. I can't even drive on those the games.
The games?
When they do that, I hit the wall. I'd be all up on the side, on the grass.
Yep. See, I agree. Yep. So
you think it's a left-handed? Oh wait, Sandra isn't left-handed. No, never mind.
No, I am right-handed. Yeah. But
yeah, I can't.
I can too. So everybody, if it's it will be crashing on the wall. It will be dropping on somebody's car. Yeah.
And see, did ever showed up the other dudes? They'll probably be coming for me like this lady. No thanks. No thank you. All right. Well, let's dive into our continuing of the story of our lives.
Yep.
And talking about our traumas and things that we've had to navigate. And you all have heard from Selena, you've heard from Magdalene, and now you're going to hear from me. And so my story, it's amazing how, like, when we decided this was how we're going to kick it off, we all at that time felt like we knew what we were going to talk about. Until time was coming up to it, then it's like, well, should I really talk about that? Or which one should I? And it's not even like a hiding thing. It's just what would be the best one to talk about. Well, for me, what would be the best one to talk about? Because
I'm sorry.
No, laugh, please, because the older I get, the freer I'm becoming. And so even whatever disgusting things I've done, what horrible things I've done, God and the blood of Jesus and transformation has occurred in my life. So you can't hold me hostage to it. But you still always want to pick, like, what will help people, what will impact people. And we know we can't hit every single thing, but these are some things that I chose, and they kind of like go into each other. So some of them have heard me say, I don't ever remember a time being skinny. I saw a picture once of this girl that was sitting on a rock with a dress on. I was like, Mommy, who is that? She said, girl, that's you. I was like, what? I was skinny? Once upon a time. And I think I was like 4 or 5. But I also remember being fat at 4 or 5, at 5. So somewhere between there, I ate a whole bunch of ham and bacon and eggs and biscuits. Because I don't ever remember being a small person, a skinny person. So I've been fat all my life. Y'all can say all the cute little words, plus size, voluptuous, big, whatever. I've been her all my life. And so growing up as a big girl, sometimes there were even guys that I liked, and they would tell me, oh, I think you're so pretty, but you're just too big. And it's like, or people that would say the body shaming back in the day versus what the mess they call it now. Back then, man, y'all can't handle the body shaming that happened back then. Nope. They nice now. Back then, every fat person was considered nasty. You stunk. You don't know what you're doing. And that was the category that fat people were placed in. And so I found myself sometimes adjusting my identity again to like try to convince you like, hey, I may be big, but guess what? I smell great. And so doing those kind of things, are people telling you, oh, you're pretty, but you're just too big. Oh, you don't have the look. Well, what's the look? And usually the look that somebody is looking for, it's what they've made up in their mind. And so those were things that I had to get healed from and begin to sit with it. Like, is my identity in my shape? Is my identity even in my look? I know it's a part of who I am, but am I going to hinge who I am on because I'm a big girl that I'm not worthy? But those were things that I did back then. Oh, well, you're too big, so you can't possibly go out for this. You can't possibly go out for that. Even my healing journey had started earlier in life as a teenager. Being a big girl, we had school Olympics at this one school I used to go to. I went out for the Olympics, and they was like, you know, you too big to be in the Olympics. I said, I'm not joining the Olympics for my size. I'm joining the Olympics because I can. I didn't care if I came in. I didn't even care if I placed. I really joined the Olympics to start losing weight. But that wasn't something I felt I had to share. But even in that, people looking like, I know this big girl did not go out for track. It's okay. You can laugh because I really am. I'm all right now in that regard. And even the weight that I am losing now, I'm losing it for me. I'm not losing it for anyone else. And those were things that I used to get told, like, oh, if you lose some weight, you would be even prettier. If you lose some weight, you can do this. If you lose weight, you can do that. And you should lose it for your loved ones. And something clicked for me. I don't know when it clicked, but it clicked. And I was like, no, what I do, I have to do it for me. I'm a mom now, but I couldn't do it for my daughter because my daughter is going to eventually do something that's going to tick me off. I'm going to get upset with her. So if I hinge my successes on doing it for my daughter and she does something to disappoint me, then I'm not going to want to do it anymore because now I'm upset with you. And quiet as it's kept, a lot of us sometimes will do stuff to get back in a different kind of way. And doing stuff like that, well, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Well, why not? Because you're not grateful or you're not this. So I've learned that those type of things in my life, that I have to do them for Kathleen because I go to bed with Kathleen. I wake up with her. I go to work with her. I'm with me all the time. When I'm with nobody else, I still have to deal with me. So that was one of the many traumas that I've had to overcome, and there's some times that I'm still overcoming it, because I've had severe arthritis since I was 10 years of age. And most people can squat. I've never been able to squat. And you think about things, or things that we take for granted, and there's like little things that you're like, oh, every time I see a thick person squat, I'd be like, yes, yes. But that doesn't matter to anybody else. But if somebody can never squat and you see somebody squat, that's something I want to do. I want the Lord to let me be able to squat, but my knees be like, I wish you would. I'm going to show you something, because it's that severe, and it's gotten progressively worse. And because of that, the constant even pain of that I experience in my body on a day-to-day basis, that's in my spine and that's throughout my body, you begin to question your beauty. Because of the pain, I've lost the most of my hair. And my hair used to be down to my shoulders. So to go from this to gradually, then it was like, okay, well, if I get my hair braided, maybe that'll help. But it was the pain that was, the aggression of the pain settled in my hair. And so then now I'm going from, I'm wearing my hair to, well, I still have enough. I can get like this part braided. Maybe I'll put it in a ponytail, or I could pull up, because the balding had started right here. So I still had hair on the sides. So, okay, now just, wear your hair, but don't put it up in a really tight ponytail. Now you can wear a ponytail and you're all right. You're all right. Well, now the sides are starting to come out. Now what do you do? And so I remember the day that I had to come to terms with wearing a wig. And I didn't even realize how much identity I even had in my hair, or even a dependency on my hair. And I'm like, God, and hey, y'all, listen, I've been saved for a minute. Even when I was in and out, I've been saved for a minute. I did the glory of a woman is her hair, quoting all those scriptures, anointing my head with oil, speaking to my hair follicles. I don't have any hair. This is a whole cul-de-sac. I got a cul-de-sac baldness going on. You understand? All of this is gone. I have hair around here. And I had to come to terms with wearing a wig. And I remember the first wig I wore, and I looked in the mirror. I was at work and I just started crying. I had to go home. I was like, God, I can't do this. You have to, and I'm serious, y'all. I was like, you got to take me, because I cannot do this. I'm already finishing healing from other traumas that have to do with beauty. And now you're doing this to me. So either you are keeping me here. If you're keeping me here, you have to show me how to wear these wigs. You have to show me even wigs to buy, because I always wore my hair in a different hairstyle. I said, so I don't want that to change. We're going to have us a wig collection if this is the route we're going. And y'all see, I'm a blonde today with my hat on. And it's got some different color back here. Well, I probably didn't turn around enough, but he helped me to make it fun. But even still in that, there are moments when, like after this show, if I prepare to get ready for bed and I want to relax, guess what? I got to take my hat off, take my hair off. I haven't had 2 front teeth since I was 18 years of age, because the bone didn't grow in. And so that's nothing. I was born like that. It didn't fully form. So my 2 front teeth, they had started dropping. So they had to pull them, or they were just going to fall out. You could literally see, what's that top part? Is that the molar or the root of it? Like you have your teeth, and then whatever is stuck up there in the socket. I look like I'm up in my nose, but that part was dropping, so they had to pull it out. So I've been wearing partials since I was 18 years of age, and I'm 57. And I still have moments where I am like, I don't feel like taking my teeth out. I don't feel like taking hair off. I don't feel like doing all these extra things that the average person doesn't have to do just to get in the bed. So it's sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to have to scrub my dentures a little harder tomorrow because I'm just going to bed with it. I want to go to bed normal, my normal. And so these are even traumas that I've experienced and traumas that I still have to live with, but I can't let it conquer me. I can't let it overtake me. And when I begin to allow it to define me, I can't let it define me. I can't. They're even living in this townhome, but there was another place that I selected that had stairs. The stairs was me fighting arthritis. You are not going to control me. So I am going to walk up and down the stairs. And there were days that I would have to sit on the stairs and wait for my body to want to respond again. But there are just things that you do periodically for me that I fight against just so I don't cave to it. And that's my story. I'm done for now.
Did you ever say you hated your life or wanted or contemplated suicide because of all the stuff that it seemed like is compound trauma?
Absolutely. Both of those. I hated my life. I did that whole Job thing. I was like, good thing that wasn't a sin because I have definitely cursed being born. Like, why did you do this? And I remember I used to tell God often, and this is how I said it. I swear you had leftover parts. And you were like, well, we got these parts left over. Let's just make one more human. And that human was me. And one time I read in Isaiah where he talked about woe to the one who strives with their maker. Just burst into tears. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I was striding with you. But if you help me, I won't despise feeling like I was an afterthought to you, because that's how I felt, that I was an afterthought. And even when I went on the journey about some of the things going on in my body, I asked my mom, like, did you have a traumatic pregnancy with me? I wouldn't call it traumatic, but that's not a word that they use. So that's why she wouldn't call it that. But she fell with me when she was pregnant.
Oh.
She was cooking one time and the hot grease popped on her and it knocked her back. So those are already traumas in the belly.
Yeah.
And then when I was a baby, I'm here now. And my mom, I was crying, I think. My mom told one of my sisters, go get Kathleen. She goes to get me. She's coming down the basement steps. And those basement steps were concrete. She dropped me by accident. I went back down the entire flight. She had tripped and landed on top of me.
Oh.
Right. And I'm a newborn baby. So what are we doing here? But those are things you learn that afterwards, but it's making a contribution to what you're dealing with in your life as you're growing. So yes, I have. And I remember at 23, because I was a violent depressant.
Mhm.
And I remember being in my first apartment, and I think you guys have heard this story before. My shower was dripping.
Mhm.
And I had told God, if you really love me, you
Mhm.
love me, and I really have purpose, you have to stop that shower from dripping. And I was on my knees that I could not really be on. But that was my form of desperation to God. He said, you're gonna have to fix my shower. It has to stop leaking. And I waited, and I even let him know I have a time limit. I'm not gonna keep coming to you asking, because I've got to know that I matter. And he fixed that shower. And I stayed in that apartment 9 years, and I never had to get it fixed. Never. So yes.
I have a two-part question. I know you said that you talked about how you felt like you were the leftover parts, but was there ever a time when you were angry with God, or you felt like God wasn't real? Because it's like, if God is God, then how could this be happening to me?
Mhm.
And then the second part is, how were you able to not be angry with God and actually see God for who he really was?
So yes, I would say that I was angry with God,
Mhm.
because when I said about the leftover parts, all these people that I'm seeing, when
Mhm.
I knew about people having severe arthritis and whatever, they're older. I'm a kid and I'm not functioning well. So getting older was just getting worse. And going to the doctor at 21 and the chiropractor telling me I have a body of a 63-year-old. That's not good news in
Mhm.
21. Come on. As far as, so I hope that answers the first part of your question.
Mhm.
As far as not being angry anymore, I'm there are times that I still get angry at God,
Mhm.
but I my struggle of his love for me has is has been healed tremendously. I
Mhm.
cannot say it's 100% healed. I can say that I do know that God loves me, and I really mean it. I'm not trying to make a declaration. It is something that I love, that I know for a fact. But am I there 100%? I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm not.
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just wow. I sometimes I don't even have words sometimes when you see the things that people just how, what they go through from it. Well, no, from you it started at birth. From birth, because even when you were talking about your mom, I was thinking about, all the shock. One of the things I learned is like when somebody, I remember one time I had this friend and she was this older lady. I heard my mom was talking to her, and her husband basically punched her in the
Mm,
stomach while she was pregnant. And so when you were saying that, she was saying that she felt the baby, how the baby leaped, and it brought, like you said, well, they didn't use that word as trauma, but it brought trauma, where
hmm.
the tube was basically slightly ripped,
Yeah.
so as I was, yeah, so because that's how hard he punched her in in her stomach. So I
Mm,
was thinking about that with your mom and the burn, all that, all the pain,
hmm.
that you probably felt when those things happened to your mom. So I said all of that to say, how do you deal with each trauma individually, or do you deal with it, like if you whatever, I'm not going to use that word. Because I was studying trauma today, and one of the words the lady uses to me, you have complex trauma, which is a mixture
Mm-hmm.
of all the traumas that you have. So it's complex. So do you deal with it individually, or do you deal with it
Collectively or
collectively?
compartmentalize?
Yes.
Collect-
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
I would say both, actually.
Mhm.
It probably depends on the day and what trauma has come out further. Because I literally do have to, I don't, like, I'm in pain right now. I'm in pain right now. And so guess it depends on the day.
Mhm.
And what wants to stick out the most.
Right.
Yeah. And even in my house, even though I'm the only one here,
Mhm.
if I'm home all day and I don't want to do my hair, I have a scarf on all day. It's just me.
Right.
But my head is still covered because I don't want to see what has happened there. So there's a scarf on. Yeah. So it depends.
Okay. Which is good. Which is good. You know what I'm saying? I like how you say depends on how you feel, or depend because you're still living.
Mhm.
Sometimes we go through, I always say one of the things I learn is sometimes we hide. I think one of the things I love about you is that you don't hide your scars. And I think sometimes we hide our scars. We leave it internally. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes scars, I always say scars have a voice, but the only time it has a voice is when we express the things that we are, what we are going through.
Mm.
Like even with you being in school and people calling you names, and that's a scar. You trying to basically, sometimes adjust, like, hey, if I do this, we always, I think sometimes people don't think about it, but and even in the church sometimes that happens. We constantly trying to, how should I say it, to fix ourselves to suit the situation.
Right. Right.
And that's work, and that's trauma. So I am happy that the person that we see and we experience on a daily basis is a person that is coming into herself, you know fabulous. Of course, listen,
Fabulous.
listen, you will never know that the things that she's going through because she does not display it. I'm serious. She doesn't.
Thank
The
you.
only time she's going through something is when she speaks and talk about it. Other than that, you will not know because you just think that she's normal until she says sometimes maybe certain part of her body is hurting. So which means her trauma has not defined her in this season in her life. But yet she's still dealing with different hurt and pain. And it's the same thing with us. I have another question. And so when your mom told you what happened and you found out your sister dropped you and land on you, it's you, because you know how sometimes children know things happen to them when they were young. Did that affect your relationship with your sister, thinking that maybe because of all of these things that happen, this is causing affliction still in my body?
Nope. It
Oh,
didn't affect my relationship with her. Not that. It's things that she did down the road that we had to be healed from as
right.
siblings. But no, those acts didn't. Mm-mm.
Lois Ray says she's not always being the victim. No. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's good. That's good because sometimes that's another trauma. Sometimes so many people spend so much time blaming their parents for things that they did not really, your sister didn't throw you down the step and then jump on you. It was an accident. So
Right.
I'm happy that that was resolved within your heart.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. And even when they were telling the story, I
Mhm.
knew it was an accident.
Right.
So yeah, I was all right with that.
So when you had conversations with God regarding your stuff, with all of the stuff that has happened, how did you reconcile your emotions or your feelings to then be able to be like amazing in the journey of walking with the Lord? How could you recognize the emotions about your physical and still be powerful spiritually?
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you. So when I was young, I feel like when I was younger, like in my 20s and 30s, I read my Bible a way lot more than I read it now. I do read my Bible, y'all. I'm just saying, like, if I were bored, I would grab my Bible and read it and all of those things. So that's what I mean by that. And I'm saying that because one of my Bibles, because I have lots of them, and I dated it. I was reading the scripture where the people had brought the guy and was like, what did he do? What did his mom do? What did his dad do? Like, why is he blind? What happened? And Jesus was like, this ain't got nothing to do with none of that. This is all for my glory. And I was reading it and I kept going. And then I heard the Lord say, this is you. And I just burst into tears. And so I dated it. I said, so what you saying is, you have the potential that you may or may not. You may not rush to heal me, or you just might decide that you're not gonna. But what I'm doing is for your glory. I said, okay, all right. And I just dated and I kept going. I didn't even know the fullness of that. So as time kept going, I remember being at the Benny Hinn crusade. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of people thought a lot of those things were fake, but I was actually at one that was very real. Mm-hmm. And this lady was in a wheelchair. And the people had surrounded her. And Benny was like, the Lord said, just get up. When you get up out the wheelchair, you're going to walk. And I was 2 rows behind her. That lady was so petrified. She wouldn't move. She's like, no, that's okay. That's okay. And I got so angry. I said, so you picked her and you knew she was going to say no. And you didn't pick me. You knew I would say yes. You knew I would spend the rest of my life till I wouldn't care if people got tired of me testifying of the miracle that takes place in my body. And you pick her and she rejected you. And you knew that. So I had to go back over those anger emotions flooded back, number one. And as days went on, I was like, listen, I need to reconcile something within myself. Because I know I love you. I know that I am a believer of Jesus Christ. And I have mentally moved past, I'm only saved just so I don't go to hell. I've grown beyond that. I said, so I've got to make up my mind now that if you never do it, I'm going to serve you. And if you never do it, I will still tell people that you are a healer. And God has literally used me to lay hands on the sick and they recover in some form. And I still walk away hurting and infirmed in my body. And so it's a constant, there's a settling there, but every now and then there's that constant like, no, my emotions and the enemy, I'm not going to let you get me right here on this. So sometimes it is a fight, but not like it used to be.
Okay.
I could understand that. Yeah, I thought about, was it Smith Wigglesworth who prayed, but his wife never got healed? Was it? I think I don't quote me on it, but I think so.
Lee Strobel.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Prayed, but his wife never got healed. I always say that we don't know the mind of we don't know. We know the mind of God, but we don't know the mind of God. And the other thought that just came to me is we can't control God. People think they could
Come
control
on.
God,
That's
but
right.
we can't. At the end of the day, He knows. Even though sometimes it's like you said, it's painful when you know that you serve a God that can heal, and yet He will let you lay hands on other people, and they get. Some people get healed like this.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then sometimes you'll be like, wait, so okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the response you give him. It's like, oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. And you gotta move on. So I like the tenacity and the fight in you, because to me it gives other people hope to know that even as believers that we go through things, and sometimes we hate to hear this word, that or dislike, I don't like the word hate, dislike to hear this word, that sometimes you have to go through things. Sometimes you will have things in your body that that it doesn't get healed, and that's the fact, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
um let me see if I have another one. Oh, I know you didn't speak about this, but you talk about earlier about being a big girl, where guys will say that you're pretty, but you're too fat.
Mhm.
Did that affect you having relationships? Like being in love, having, the cute guy come to you, but cute could mean whatever your cute is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were times it did. There were
Mm-hmm.
times it did. And even on this journey, I realized I've never been in love. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And my feelings weren't even hurt. It was just like one of those, oh wow, seriously? And even going back over some of them, I've been in love with the idea of being in love and what it looks like, but I've never been in love. But yes, it has affected
Mm-hmm.
some relationships, especially when I was at the beginning of healing and a guy would like me, and I'm like, what you liking me for? He's because you're beautiful. I'm like, okay, and you're big and beautiful. I like big and beautiful women. That I'd be like, what? There's guys that like big girls. That's when I've even first learned something like that. Like there, and that's not why I'm still big. I'm just big because I'm big, but I'm not as big as I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yes, it has though.
Mm-hmm. I think it's. Oh, sorry, Selena.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Okay. So, with the whole weight thing, did you ever use food as a way to comfort yourself? And then also, were you ever shamed because of maybe like how much you ate or what you chose to eat? Or like, well, your thighs are too thick, you shouldn't eat ice cream or something like that?
No, I wasn't shamed. If I was, I didn't know it. And during that heavy part of the season, I still cussed. So you were likely to get cussed out. I'm just this is a truthful show, right?
Yes.
So I cuss like everyday language. So you might want to watch what you said back then. You can get cussed out. So that's that part. Food, and I know that there's all these scientific and medical things, and I don't disagree with them.
Mm-hmm.
But baby, listen, I get excited when I'm hungry, just in general. I enjoy food. Now, where God has me now, I'm learning more and more to eat to live and not live to eat.
Mm.
So that has decreased a lot, but what? If I could eat all day for the joy of eating, I would. Because I like food.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not as controlled by food
Mm-hmm.
as I used to be. But I still have moments. Yeah. You welcome. Now I'll cartoon cuss now. I'll be like, asterisk, exclamation point, parenthesis. You know, that's what they was doing in the cartoons back then. So that's become my new cuss right there. Be like, you little walking question mark.
You know, I wish people will stop saying that because you're fat, you eat a lot. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because to me, in the world, we are all different size. And not because I'm heavy, you know, not because even people will look at skinny people and complain about skinny people. Oh, she's so skinny, she is anorexic. No, that's just her build. That's just the body that God gave her. Or each one of us, we are different. Look at us here. We are different size. You have never seen a world where everybody is skinny or everybody. And then what is skinny? That's what I wish somebody will define that to me, because if you see somebody a size 2, you say they're too skinny. If the person is a size 8, you find something wrong with them. If they are 10, you find something wrong. It's like we as humans, we are cruel to each other because we always finding something to say about somebody, because in your mind, it's not what you want. But let me look at you and define you. You ain't that skinny too. So you know what I'm saying? I've seen that. I've seen people who were not skinny criticize people that are heavy, and then sometimes you turn around and you're like, well, wait, you are 16. So
you got 7 love handles.
So sometimes I think we need to be merciful to each other and realize we live in a diverse world, and beauty comes in different shade and different size, you know. Right. So yeah. So where are you now in your journey?
Where am I now? Oh, what a great question. Something that I was, even as I was mulling this over today, I'm like, okay, God, we really doing this one? Oh, yes, Louis Ray the third. We're going to, ooh. I'm sitting by the tree that does fresh fruit every month. That's where you're going to find me when I come outside. Look me up by that tree. God has, I often thank him for being long-suffering toward me. And my thoughts about me and thoughts that I've had about me, and his graciousness to, in the midst of that, to continue to awaken me to the creation that he made me, and to like her and to love her and to honestly believe, and I really believe this now, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Do I have days? Yes, everybody does. But even when I'm being stupid, I know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm just having a moment. And I like, internally, I like to say, you know how people say, oh, think outside the box. Well, I think from my box. Ooh. I think from my box, because I am an original creation, and I recognize that and I own it. So I think from my box versus society's. And then I am my own society. So my wardrobe, that's my society. You don't get to tell me, oh, the color of the season is orange. Well, I just might wear purple just because. I don't have to follow the end thing. I am the end thing. I'm the label. I'm the end thing. I'm the box, and I am society. That's where I am in my journey.
I like that.
And God is even leveling me up again, even in my wardrobe. Like today, I ain't lying. I was like, let me find some really cute lounge wear to put on. They won't know. He's like, if you don't get in that closet and pull out some clothes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will do that. I will do. Didn't you just tell this a whole conversation? Didn't you just tell Sandra last week you go level up? I'm going to the closet, Jesus. I'm going to the closet. This is not loungewear. These are real clothes. And I have clothes on. I have pants on because I'm somebody that would forget and I would stand up. These are all Lord. What are you talking about? So I gotta be fully dressed. I have to. Yeah. And
Oh my God.
Even part of that identity, big girl, and all of that stuff, the Lord made me loud. I have a big voice. And I had despised it for a moment because I would look at other ladies and I'd be like, oh, they're so gentle. And then I'm coming in the room like, hey, everybody. I'm like, oh, Lord, do I have to be so loud? And so even trying to tone me down, I failed at it. I failed the mission. I got rebuked of the Lord by it. So this is me. And I'm me all the time. I don't wear a different face or a different hat because I did that once and I messed it up. So at work, this is me. At church, this is me. In the store, this is me. I'm me all the time. This is who she is.
So you said that God being long suffering towards you. Can you explain that so I can better understand it?
Yes, he's been patient without killing me. For real. Like, he's been patient without beating me because there were even some things that I was like, you're kidding, right? Like, why do I have to keep going over this mountain when I am intentionally attempting to go over this mountain? I can't go around it. I literally had to barrel through whatever that either identity crisis was or the pain that was caused me. Even people that have spoken ill to me to my face, and the Lord returns me back to them and puts me in their presence like, you about to come before this person. Oh, let's stay home. No, you're going to get dressed and you're going to go. So he's been long suffering in that. He suffered long with me, getting myself together without saying, I've had enough of you. I'm tired of helping you. I'm tired of you crying. I'm tired of you saying, God, this is so hard. I'm tired of you acting like even that you're the only one that's going through this. Because I've had those conversations. I'm like, now listen, I know your word says that there's always somebody going through the same thing that we're going through, but I don't care about those other people right now. I'm talking about me. And today, I'm struggling.
Right.
I have honest and real conversations with God. I don't get churchy I don't get disrespectful, but I don't get churchy with God. And so I'm grateful for him suffering long with Kathleen Sargent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's good. Wow. Let me see if I have anything else. Oh, yes, I have one more.
She's so cute. Oh, yes.
Do you think, how do you think your trauma affected your daughter? Or did it? Maybe that's the better question.
Yes, it did. It affected her. In fact, I actually initiated a trauma to her in the womb. I've only ever wanted sons. And when I was pregnant, I knew I was having a girl. and I rejected her in the womb because I was mad that she was a girl. And then people would ask, well, how do you know that? You didn't have an ultrasound. You didn't have whatever the thing you get to know. I said, I don't need to know. The Lord has let me know that you mean God talking to you and you got a baby out of well? I said, see, right there, that'll get you slapped. I'm not done cussing yet.
Right.
Don't get your feelings hurt. Yes, I have sinned, and I have honestly asked the Lord for forgiveness. I didn't do a patty cake forgiveness thing. And so that was something I had to deal with, like, even while I was pregnant, but the damage had already started. So as I went along, I apologized to her in the womb. She still came out to some degree as she grew up. I could see, what's that called? Like the attachment disorder or something like that. Like they want to be up on you all the time. But as she got older, that was part of what that was. Like, are you going to leave me? Well, yeah, eventually, if things go in the right order, yes, because I've never told my daughter I will always be here for you, because I'm not. If I don't get caught up, I'm going to die. So I can't always be here for you.
Yeah.
But I've always told her who will always be here for her. But part of that came in when the Lord had told me, okay, today is the day that you apologize at an age where she understood about the abandonment, and that, because that's what began to occur. And so I did, and we both cried about it, and we talked it out, and we walked it out. Yeah. And some of the other traumas, yes, because she was not permitted to eat a lot of candy and sugary items. Like that was not a constant in her life. And there were times when I would tell her, I'm going to be the only fat person in this family. That's from trauma.
Yeah.
That's a trauma statement in the sense. And so, yes, every now and then she could have treats and things of that nature. And like when we would go on vacation, I would tell her, now we're on vacation. You can have whatever you want. Whatever I want, Mom. She was living the dream. And as she got older, though, she had control over the treats. It was, I don't want it. I'm good. Or she might do one little sugary thing and she's cool. But even some of that came from trauma, not from health. Yeah.
Oh, what advice, and then I'm done. What advice would you give to the audience if they have kids to kind of manage that trauma so it does not translate to their children?
Wow, that's a good one. The first thing I would say is it has the potential to still happen. And be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. When you realize that you have released a trauma, handle it then. Don't act like it didn't happen. Don't act like you don't need to address it. It's important for us as parents that when we do something wrong, that we apologize to our children. We should never be above that. And apologize in that moment. And if it's something that has angered you, well, take that moment and chill. When you come down from your anger, go back and apologize. Those things actually help in restoring what we put on them incorrectly. So sometimes you may not be able to prevent the trauma, but you can handle it and go back and put the proper medicine on it so that they can be healed. Raise your children with a voice. You know, a lot of us were raised, children are seen and not heard. And then I was born. I got a lot of things growing up. I be needing to know why and saying because I said so. It really never sat with me. And I remember as a kid saying, if I ever become a parent, I'm gonna tell my kids why you gotta do not every single thing, but we're not doing this stuff. And I even told my daughter as a little person and all the way up to her being an adult right now, I need your help to be your mom. So if I do something that is disrespectful to you, it may not be a disrespecting thing, but it could be a disrespect to your child in how they're made.
Right.
I do something that's disrespectful to you, you're allowed to come and tell me, just be respectful about it. If I'm raising you in a way that's uncomfortable, or if there's something that I'm asking you to do that's uncomfortable, you're allowed to tell me that. If I did something wrong, you're allowed to come and tell me. You just have to be respectful. If there's something I'm doing that you know for yourself you could do better, tell me so I can change it. Help me to be the mom you need me to be. Also understand I still have the last say because I'm gonna follow God over that, but you have a buy-in. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Oh, also I want to tell everyone, please don't be ashamed to go and get therapy if you are going through any kind of trauma within your life.
Yes.
It's okay to do therapy.
Yes.
It's okay. I promise you, you will not go to hell.
Yes.
It's okay.
But please don't be a lazy client.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't just be using your therapist as somebody to talk their ear off. Do the work. Do the work to be healed.
yeah.
Otherwise, you wasting money and time. Yeah.
Yep. Any more statements, questions? I
No.
think no. I
Mhm.
think we are done. Well, we're done. Yes, we're done.
All right. Well, hey, y'all know what this is. Hey, thanks for listening to us. We absolutely love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it.
Bye.
Bye.
God has a purpose. God has a plan. I'm living His will. He's got me in His hands. I'm chilling, chilling, chilling with purpose. God has a purpose. God has a plan. I'm living His will. He's got me in His hands. I'm chilling,